you go for broke. You go try to win the race. There's nothing that we can do any better than win the race.
One of the lasting memories that I have of you is Allmendinger coming behind you and patting you on the back saying, good job. That's in complete contrast to what we saw with Ty. Explain those type of emotions from being hot-headed to, it's okay, man, we got this.
I'll be honest with you, that wasn't the exchange that I expected. I've known AJ for a long time and not the exchange that I expected. But, I think the biggest thing was we both knew what was at stake, and we raced each other arguably as hard as you can possibly race somebody. I mean, I hated that his tire went flat, but even then, I mean.
Did you really hate that this tire went flat? That's part of the sport.
It is, but we wanted to race it out. I mean, I'm not sure we could have made 25 more laps the way we were racing. I'll be honest with you. One of us was bound to have an issue, but, I felt like, AJ's been a great competitor and somebody that, whether we agree or disagree, because we've had a lot of disagreements over the years, I still have a lot of respect for him on the racetrack and who he is as a race car driver. But we knew it was going to come down to one of two of us. To be honest with you, when the 19 took the lead after all of that, I was pretty deflated because I really thought the 54 was going to let the 19 win in that moment, right? Two cars in from their group. It was a no-brainer in my mind. Obviously, that didn't work out that way at all. But I think it shows what this race means and how much effort you're going to put into Martinsville to be in this position. So, I was glad of the battle. I was probably more proud of the moment afterwards, the exchange afterwards with AJ. He walked over to my crew chief, had a similar exchange, and basically in that moment said, hey, look, we both knew what we were doing and we both were pushing hard. And, yeah, it sucks on my part, but that's just the nature of this format, and it really is the truth. We could have just as easily won at Vegas or at Homestead and not had to worry about it, right? But we didn't, and we both knew that what we had at hand, and we raced our guts out for it, and ultimately it created a stark contrast of some of the other relations that happened at the end of the race.
AJ Allmendinger is one of the cleanest racers that I've seen out there. Do you expect any type of retribution at Phoenix, maybe a little bump here and there?
No, I mean, obviously I think he's going to race me hard. He wants to win the race naturally as much as anybody, but, he actually a good friend and another racer on Sunday said, I've known AJ my whole life. I've raced with him my whole life. And I went up and asked him on Sunday, like, hey, were you really okay with what happened? And he's like, look, man, I started it. I pushed first, and obviously he pushed back. I think we've both been in the sport and around this garage long enough to know, when we were the aggressor or when we were the receiver. And I think he did what he had to do, and I did what I had to do. And, I can't picture anything less than respect this weekend. And if we have the opportunity to race hard, we're going to race hard for a win, don't get me wrong. But I would expect nothing less than him being an utmost, respectful competitor. And like you said, he's a clean racer, and, we're going to go battle it out.
Just us talking, racing against your teammates. Y'all done it all year long, but this is the biggest race of the year for you guys. And, you got one kind of outlier here that you don't know what's going to happen. So how do you plan for this weekend?
You go for broke. You go try to win the race. There's nothing that we can do any better than win the race. As a team, there are no team orders. There's no, hey, let this person win, do this, do that. The only goal for us, though, we would be idiots to walk out of here with anything less than a championship. We have 75% of the top four, right? We have to go out there and put ourselves in that position. If it comes down to the checker flag and the three of us are battling it out, the gloves are off, and we all know that. But if we are idiots and we go out there and don't race the way we need to race, and we don't give ourselves that opportunity to win a championship, that's poor management on our parts, right? There's nothing that Dale or Kelly or anybody from our organization, crew chiefs, it doesn't matter. There's nothing that any of them are going to say that's going to affect what we do. We're going to all have to race amongst each other and to do the right things. If we do that, there's no doubt. I mean, we all know what we have for our equipment. There's no doubt in my mind that we can't all three be battling for a championship. I sat in a seat very similar to this in February, and I told people it would not surprise me at all if we didn't have 3 or 4 cars in the Final Four at Phoenix. And everybody laughed at me. Literally, I had people laugh at me and say that that would never happen. And we're sitting here now, 8 months later, with 3 of the Final Four. And truth be told, Sam had a great season and had an opportunity, just didn't work out, right? So, pretty cool to feel that good about our program, but even more so about having the opportunity to come here and race it out for a championship amongst us 3.
Okay, well, having said that, though, does last week's result make you nervous? Because let's say all 4 of you happen to be 1, 2, 3, 4 going to the end of the race. Does a Ty Gibbs sort of scenario make you a little bit nervous to say that you guys aren't idiots for winning this championship?
Well, I mean, it is a hard question. And you're coming down to a championship. Anything can happen. I'm not saying that we have to finish 1, 2, 3, right? So, I don't know what the other 2 are thinking amongst our group, right? I don't know what Ty's thinking at all because I really thought he was going to let the 19 win last week. So, obviously, I'm not a good judge of character. But, when it comes down to it, you make decisions in the most split-second opportunities you possibly have. And, we don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to all go give it our all, and we're going to give 110%. And whoever of the 4 of us walks out of here with a championship, it won't be for lack of effort. It's going to be because we've done the best job that day.
But does he make you nervous?
No. The reason why he doesn't make me nervous is because I think that, number one, mentally, I don't even know how he's going to get through this weekend. With everything that's happened this week, I hope the best for him, but it's going to be a difficult week. But number 2, I think that because of what happened last week, the eyes that are on it, the optics of everything with what NASCAR and JGR and their whole group has done, I don't even see it being a possibility, right? Maybe it is. Maybe I'm a bad judge of character, but I just feel like at some point you got to learn what the limits are, and I hope that last week was a good judge of that.